Okay, so this is 547, and we're going to calculate some conditional probabilities. It says, the first one says, find the probability that someone is a Democrat given that this person is liberal. Okay, so what's the probability that someone is a Democrat given that the person is liberal? Okay, so if we know someone is liberal, what's the probability that this person is going to be a Democrat? So probably pretty high. If we know someone has liberal ideology, this probability that the person is going to be a Democrat, probably pretty high. So to answer this, we have to remember that anytime we see a given probability, A given B, that answer is going to be the probability of A and B divided by the probability of B. Sometimes we can get this answer directly, which is the case because we have the table. Sometimes we can't, and we have to do it this way. So I'm going to do it both ways for you. So in this case, Democrat and liberal, we get Democrat given liberal on the top part is going to be the A and B. So I'm going to have Democrat and liberal divided by the probability of the given part. Here, given B goes on the bottom, given the liberal goes on the bottom. So, alright, so what's the probability that someone is Democrat and liberal? Well, we have 306 people who are Democrats and liberal. So it's going to be 306 out of a total of 1858. And what's the probability that someone is liberal? 306, okay. 530 out of 1858. So, all right, 530 divided by 1858. And so the answer ends up being 306 divided by 530. That's a probability that someone is a Democrat if we know that person is liberal. Okay. Another way is we can look directly at the table and we see how many people identify themselves as liberal. 530, so that's going to go on our denominator. Of those, how many are Democrats? 306. So with the table, we can actually just see the answer, 306 out of 530, because 530 identify themselves as liberal, and of those, 306 are Democrats. So we get the same answer either way, and we do 306 divided by 530, and the answer that we get is 0.577. Okay, so about 58% of people who are liberals are also Democrats. Okay, and so that seems to be seems to make sense. Okay. On the other hand, we want to know what is the probability that someone is a Democrat given that he or she is conservative. Okay, so if somebody identifies himself or herself as conservative, what's the probability that this person is a Democrat? Okay, conservative. Okay, so this answer, oops, these two lines are running into each other, so let me just move this. The answer to this was 0.577. This number is probably going to be smaller. If somebody says that he or she is conservative, the probability that he or she is a Democrat is going to be smaller. And again, using the A and B over B, this form, we do the and part on the top, Democrat and conservative, divided by the given part, probability that someone is conservative. Okay, and so the and part, Democrat and conservative, we have 104 people out of 1858. That's going to be the top part, divided by the probability that someone's conservative. We have 593 people who are conservative out of 1858. And so this reduces to 104 over 593. And once again, because we have the table where all of these details are given to us, we could also just see directly that if we know someone's conservative, then we're limiting ourselves to 593 people, and of those, 104 are Democrats. Okay, and so 104 divided by 593, oops, 104 divided by 593 is equal to 0.175. Okay, so this number is much smaller, 0.175 versus 0.577. This is about almost 58% and this is only about 18%. Okay, so 18% of people who are conservatives say are Democrats. About 58% of people who are liberal are Democrats. So the last part says, which respondents are more likely to be Democrats, the liberal or the conservative respondents? Definitely the liberal respondents are more likely to be Democrats. Which matches what we think of intuitively.